late post-game show. How are you? Welcome on board. The Denver Nuggets use a 37-point fourth quarter, and they win it 122 to 108. If Jerry is still up, he's expected to join us in a moment or two. Ryan is at the arena, and he is heading down to the post-game press conference to hear from Doug Christie. The story of this game, very simple. Denver's a really, really, really good team. And Nikola Jokic, if there's a better player in basketball, I haven't seen him. I mean, it really isn't. The guy's unbelievable, isn't he? 35 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, but just a dominant fourth quarter by the visiting Denver Nuggets, and the Kings lose 122 to 108. I didn't really have a problem with how Sacramento competed tonight. I had a problem with how they competed on Sunday. I didn't have a problem with how they competed tonight. They just lost to a really good team, maybe the best team in the West. They had opportunities. They got sloppy a couple of times. I think you saw finally Doug Christie start to coach this team the way he should have been coaching it, with Dennis Schroeder only playing 21 minutes, right? I think that's key. But I got to tell you, I like the way the Kings played tonight. I thought defensively they were aggressive. I thought that they were competing. Even when they were down big in the fourth quarter, they were still competing. I like the effort tonight. I can't fault the effort. I can't fight the way they competed. Jerry Reynolds joins us. Jerry, it's late for you. I'm a little worried for you. You're going to be okay?
Well, I don't know. This is setting records here, but
yeah.
But I'm like you. I thought they played very well. I thought to me, kind of the bench play was interesting. How the Kings bench was terrific in the first half and played well, but the Nuggets did nothing in the first half. Their bench in the second half, they were really a factor, especially in the fourth. And I thought the defensive pressure there that the Nuggets put on the Kings for about the first 6 minutes of the fourth quarter probably was the game, because but even after that, the Kings fought back. But I'm not sure how much better the Kings can play than that. I mean, they can play a little smarter and stay out of foul trouble. Obviously, Domas, just simply was in foul trouble a lot, as was Eubanks.
Yep. Listen, I understand that SGA is the reigning MVP, and I have no problem with that. But if there's a better player on the planet than Nikola Jokic, please take a step forward.
Well, there's not. And I think everybody knows it, And I mean, I have no problem with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander being MVP or maybe again for that matter. But this guy, I mean, and he was at his best. I mean, he was at his absolute best. And that's what I say. I think if you just had a little bit less of a great Jokic, just, the Kings could have really made a serious run at it. But they just, every time, it's like that 3-pointer that he hit late. It's like he shot an air ball and he comes right back and it's like, I can make these, and kind of finishes them off. Just absolutely great player.
Jerry, I think this was the first time this season that Doug Sinus said, I've had enough of Dennis Schroeder. If he's not on, I'm taking him out of the game, and he only played 21 minutes.
Yeah, and really he just was totally ineffective. He's been that way all but about one game. And I think going to his bench quicker, Nick Clifford and Keon and the guys I thought really Drew Eubanks, I thought they really did help. And I mean, that's, if the Kings have an advantage, I mean, they do have a pretty good bench. They've, and there's no reason to play any of these veterans, for that matter, huge minutes if they're not productive.
If the Kings play this way tomorrow, they'll win. But, boy, they're going to have to really recharge their batteries in a hurry, because they've got the Atlanta Hawks tomorrow at 7 o'clock, and they're playing very well, Jerry.
Yeah, they're a good team. I mean, they've had their ups and downs like a lot of teams. But I know the other night against the Clippers, I thought they had control of the game, and it'll, like you say, the Kings will have to play a little better game they played tonight to get the win. That because the Hawks are rested, and they're on a nice little swing.
Jerry, we're going to hear from Doug in a moment. So before that, and I'll let you go, I wanted to just get your comments. Zach LaVine's been quiet the last couple of games. Is it more of Zach LaVine, or do you think it's what the defense is doing and keying on him?
I think it's a little of both. I think Zach is is really not being looking for a shot and being aggressive enough. But I think if you're, how this league is, Grant, just like I do, that teams know that he's a key guy, and I think that they
Yeah.
really put their defensive focus on him, knowing that if you can keep Zach to low numbers, not sure the other guys can make up for it, and which is basically true.
Jerry, again, I'm going to end this with you saying this. I didn't have any problem with the way the Kings played tonight. I had a real problem with how they played on Sunday night. I really don't have an issue with how they played tonight. I like the way they competed. I'm cognizant of the fact that they lost to a better team, maybe the best team in the West, and the Kings aren't there yet. But in terms of the way they played, the way they competed, I have no issues with it.
Oh, me either. If they do, if we see this kind of basketball every night, I don't think we got anything to complain about. And I can see where looks like that they're kind of figuring out that we've got a pretty good bench. We better use it. And I like the defensive pressure that tonight, as you said, I thought the defense was pretty darn good. It just took.
Yeah, it was a lot better.
Yeah, a great player like Jokic, you're not going to stop him regardless what you do.
I thought the real key in this game was when Denver got the double-digit lead with Joker on the bench in the fourth quarter. That was the opportunity for the Kings to get back into the game and make it close. And then, like good teams do, the other star took over in Jamal Murray. And even though Keon Ellis was on him like glue, Jamal Murray is a great player, and he just made some tough shots.
Boy, isn't that the truth? I mean, he really did. He was defended well. He just made shots that you're not supposed to make. And I couldn't agree more with your point. I mean, because there's no way Denver expected to really stretch that league. But it's like I was listening to Joker's interview after the game, and he pointed out very wisely. I mean, their bench is just so much better than last year. They got Brown back, and of course Valanciunas and Tim Hardaway. I mean, they're deeper than they were last year by far. I think their only issue maybe that keep them being a champion is Cam Johnson just hasn't looked good at all. I mean, I thought that was an excellent trade when they made it, but Porter has played much better than what they're getting out of him.
And yet, with that said, Denver's 8-2.
Exactly, and you figure that Johnson's good. He'll figure it out, and they'll stay with him. And so if not, Peyton Watson will probably get his minutes.
Jerry, I don't want you to have a bad dream tonight, but the bad news is the Kings have to play Denver again next week.
Yeah, well, maybe a couple of guys
and Oklahoma City.
Yeah. Oh well. Okay. Come on. Bring them on. We're not scared.
And Minnesota.
Okay. I may wake up in cold sweats after that.
Jerry, we appreciate you staying up late for us. Thank you very much.
Well, enjoyed it. Take care, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Yes, we will. All right. That's the one and only and the great Jerry Reynolds joining us right here. Again, as soon as we get some action from the podium, we will attempt to join the post-game press conference tonight as the Kings lose this game, and they lose it in the fourth quarter as the Denver Nuggets put 37 points on the board. 37 points on the board, and the Nuggets put 122 on the board and beat the Kings for the second time in a week. Again, Ryan is in the press room, and when we get the opportunity, when I see the coach walk out onto the podium, we will discuss. All right. Now, I want to also make a comment on this. So I don't really know the answer to this question, but I'm not going to duck it. All right. If you listen to my radio show yesterday and heard my opening monologue, apparently it got the attention of Doug Christie because in his pregame press conference today, he didn't even take a question. He came out, sat down, and had a very animated speech about himself and the Sacramento Kings and his critics. And a lot of people feel it was aimed at me. I don't know if it was aimed at me or not. It's not like I'm the only one that's critical of the Sacramento Kings. I mean, come on. You want to make me the target? Go ahead. Make me the target. You want to use me as the bad guy? Go ahead. Make me the bad guy. I mean, have you not listened to the national media? Have you not paid attention to the Zach Lowe's of the world and the Rob Perez's of the world? And I can go on and on. You want to come at me? Come at me. That's fine. And again, that was the talk leading up to the game, that those comments were directed towards me and my show yesterday. Number one, I'm glad that people are listening to my show, and I'm glad that I'm getting a reaction, but you know how I am. I'm going to tell you how I feel. And you, the Sacramento Kings fans, deserve better. You deserve better. And what I saw tonight, I liked. Even though the Kings lost, I take some more positives out of this game. But if you want to, like, as an organization, start attacking me because I was honest on the radio, and I believe that based on the comments that I'm getting here and the way I received comments on my show yesterday and on social media, I think the majority of fans agree with me. Maybe I'm wrong. But, you know, for Doug Christie to come out before the game and everybody think that his comments are directed towards me and my show, you know, Doug, you got to be better than that. You're a freaking NBA head coach, okay? I didn't make it personal with you. Don't make it personal, even though you didn't make it personal, but, like, grow up. Coach the team, right? Don't worry about what I say. Don't worry about what I say. Don't worry about what Zach Lowe says. Don't worry about what Rob Perez says. Don't worry about, you know, all the fans that are calling for your head right now. Coach the team. The way you coached it tonight and the way I told you on the postgame show, you obviously were listening to me because you did exactly what I told you should do. I'm just kidding a little bit. I'm exaggerating. But you gave Schroeder a hook. You put Keon in early. I mean, that's what I wanted to see against Minnesota. That's what I wanted to see against Oklahoma City. So, like, if you're coming at me, you're better than that. Don't worry about me. You know, I'm not affecting what's going on the floor. I'm not affecting what's going on in the locker room. I'm not affecting the fact that your team can't keep another team under 120 points. That's not my fault. All right? That's not my issue. That's your issue. I'm not the one that's going on the radio saying this team can be a really good defensive team. That's you. Okay? Your good defensive team tonight gave up 37 points in the fourth quarter. The team that you're saying about defense gave up 37 fourth quarter points tonight. 37. So, like, don't worry about me. Don't worry about what I'm saying. I'm glad that my radio show is, you know, gaining the attention of you, Doug. And it's not like I don't respect you, because as a basketball person, I respect you greatly. And I even said on my radio show, no one is ever going to debate your love for the city of Sacramento and the team. That's not debatable. We already know that. But I mean, really? That's what your pregame press conference is going to be about? And even though you didn't mention me by name, everyone assumed that's what you were talking about? I mean, come on. You're better than that. And I'm not apologizing. I went back and listened to my opening segment before the game tonight. And after listening to my opening segment again from yesterday, I actually feel better about what I said than when I did it live, because I don't write anything down. I talk off the cusp. All right? That's how I handle my shows and my job. I don't script what I'm going to say. So, I mean, you know, again, you want to come at me, or you want to like criticize me? Go ahead. Go ahead. All right, we got a lot of comments. I appreciate all the comments. I'm waiting to see Doug get on the screen. Ryno is there. It's taken a long time. I don't know if they're having an extended meeting in the locker room, and hopefully we will be able to get good audio quality, and we'll do that. All right. Do they have a trickle charger hooked up to the beam? Boy, I don't know. Has he ever heard you talk about Kings coaching before? Oh, yeah, you shared the mic with him. Doug hates critics. Well, that's part of being an NBA head coach, you know? I mean, that's just part of it. You can't, you know, criticism comes with the territory. And listen, when the Kings play well, I give you all the credit in the world. You lost tonight. I'm giving you credit. I like the way you played, you know? Why did the Kings get rid of Valanciunas? Great question. I said that when they made that move, I didn't understand it. It's not only aimed at you, Grant. He's feeling the heat from the fans, as he should. I hope so. I hope it's not just directed at me. But a lot of people in the media, that was the talk before the game, that it was aimed at me. So I'll talk about it with Ryan after the post-game press conference. Happy to have everybody with you. And as we wait for Doug, I want to tell you about New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. They're available 24/7 for your plumbing needs and repairs, water heaters, water line repair, sewer repair, water filtration, gas lines. NewWorksPlumbing.com, NEWWRXPlumbing.com, or call 916-713-1010. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. Kings lose tonight with a bad fourth quarter as Denver scored 37 fourth quarter points. They broke the game up early fourth, and they were able to hang on for the victory. All right. And again, as soon as Doug comes up to the podium, we'll hear it. This game was over when Murray hit those threes. Don't disagree with you. Grant's making better rotations based on some of my criticisms. I don't think so, but fans looking forward to upcoming trades, big expectations. We'll see. Doug's feeling the pressure from Vivek. Should be feeling the pressure from everybody. Did I see the social media clip of fans chanting, "We want Keon"? Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. And again, this has taken a long time for Doug to get out to the podium, which, again, he's normally out and talking to the media now. The game has been over for 20 minutes. This is very unusual to have this long of a delay. So I wanted to point that out. All right? I wanted to point that out. And again, I'm aware that we have people on hold that want to talk, but I don't want to miss the comments. So if Gunther and Essie, if you wouldn't mind hanging on here, I would greatly appreciate it. And as soon as we hear from the comments, I will get you on, or I can take you now. And when Doug comes on, I'll take you off. Why don't we do that? Essie, go ahead. You're on the air with Grant Napier on if you don't like that.
Hey, Grant. I was looking at the box score, and at halftime, I just saw how many rebounds that Aaron Gordon and Jokic had. And I think it just, I mean, I know you said you like
All right,
how they played.
hang on for a minute. Doug Christie's coming to the podium, and let's get to him now. Well, we can't hear that, so that is not going to work, unfortunately. That's too bad. I was really hoping that we could hear him. But maybe Ryan, when he joins us. Yeah, we that's not going to work. All right, Essie, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish your thoughts if you wouldn't mind. You were talking about rebounding. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no problem. Just the number of rebounds. I mean, I was just the eye test was Jokic and Gordon after a missed shot by the Nuggets. You just looked around like who was defending them, and whoever was guarding them at that point was several inches smaller, and they were just getting board after board after board. So I just don't know how this team could ever compete, how they could ever play, good defense the way Doug Christie wants, if they're just completely undersized. And when you're so undersized, you're blowing so much energy on defense that your gas tank is empty on offense. Anyways, that was just what I saw. Thanks, Grant.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate you hanging on. Thank you so much. Let's get to Gunther. You're on with Grant Napier. Go ahead. Thanks for calling the show.
Hey, Grant. I just wanted to chime in on the game today. I think last time when I called, I was talking about how Schroeder, he's been struggling a lot. And I feel like, if we bench him, if the Kings bench him and, who cares how much money he makes, right? Just bench him.
Yeah, they're not going to bench him, Gunther. That's not going to happen because that's Scott Perry's big offseason signing. There's no way they're going to bench him. That's not going to happen.
I mean, that's his offseason signing, but isn't it more about the team's performance? I mean,
I'm just telling you, he's in his first year of general manager with the Kings. The last thing they're going to do is bench Dennis Schroeder. All right, now they may not start him, but they're not going to bench him where he doesn't play, 25 minutes or so every night. That's not going to happen.
Or yeah, I guess that's what I mean. Like just not. I guess
okay. Well, I could see that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The word bench to me means different. Bench means you're not playing.
Oh, I get it. Okay. But yeah, bench him to the point where maybe he gets like 15, 20 minutes off the bench, but start Russ in place of him. And then also something else I was going to talk about is the rebuild. Did you hear about like on X, there was a tweet about a rebuild that's I guess the source is Carmichael Dave, that he mentioned something about like a few players like DeRozan, Levine, and Sabonis being on the trading block.
How's
So,
that news? And listen, Carmichael Dave's one of my best friends. I love him. He's a family member to me. I love the guy. How's that news? I've been talking about that all season so far. I've been talking about that all summer, that these guys are on the move. I mentioned that last year after they lost to Dallas. So I love Dave to death, but this is not like breaking news. And again, I say this
yes,
because Dave's one of my best friends. This is nothing new. Everyone knows that if they can get, these guys traded, that they're going to go in a different direction.
yeah, and what you're saying right now makes sense. It's like, it's Carmichael Dave. He's just like you, going on the radio and talking about things, right? So I was just wondering, like maybe he has sources. That's the reason they, tweeted it out like this. Maybe he has like a source inside, for
Yeah,
the
he
team.
has a lot of sort. Dave is one of the most well-connected media members in Sacramento. He has a lot of sources. I have a lot of sources. I've been telling you this for weeks and months, that these guys are on the trade deadlock, especially DeRozan and Levine. Sabonis, not as much, but here's what I said. I said if the Kings got off to a bad start this year, and I said this before the season began, Sabonis would want to get out of here. And there's no doubt in my mind he wants to get out of here.
Okay, and one last thing before I let you answer other calls, but just out of those three players, DeRozan, Levine, and Sabonis, which one do you think has like the highest chance of getting traded as far as the market? Like, are there many teams that want?
To me, Sabonis. I think Sabonis is the most desirable and the most marketable.
Okay, awesome. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate your call. Thank you very much. All right, let's get to Dirk. Dirk, you're next here on the postgame show. Hi, Dirk.
Hey, Grant. Interesting, if you look at the plus minus, most of the bench is a positive for this game on a double-digit loss.
Yep, I
Felt
agree.
like when Keon went in, that's what seemed to turn it all around.
Yep, but it's just one game now. All right, I want to see it tomorrow night.
Well, yeah, I mean, and again, shout out to Doug for making changes like everyone's clamoring for, where, hey, let's put in Keon. To me, this all makes sense in the context of, Scott Perry had to prove to Vivek this roster, isn't it? And that's what all the stories coming out. Carmichael Dave was doing polls earlier this year. 85% of the fan base wants the team to tank. So it's just like, okay, Vivek's probably accepted it now. It's been proven to him, which to me was the plan all along. Do you think that's the plan?
I do think that's the plan, and I think that should have been the plan from day one, but I wouldn't have broadcast that to my season ticket holders that was the plan, because number one, I have veterans on my team, and I don't want to ruin the locker room, and I don't want things to become completely unraveled. And I feel that with professional players, and these are all very professional with their attitudes and their work ethic, I wouldn't do that to the vets. I would give them a chance to prove they can get this team over the hump. And once I see that that's not going to happen, then I have to go in a different direction. And I think we're real close to that point happening. But if I'm running the organization, I'm not going to do that to Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan and Domantas Sabonis. And I'm not even including Westbrook in this, and Schroeder, who you signed. I'm not doing that to them. I'm giving them an opportunity to show that they can win with this team. And once I see that it's not going to happen, then I go to plan B. That's just me, though.
Well, I will say, Grant, you also are putting a lot of pressure on the organization in your role as a media member.
And in what way am I putting pressure on the organization, if you wouldn't mind me asking, Dirk?
I would say you're the if you agree this is the plan, like we're giving these guys the opportunity to get out there, and the veterans to prove that they can win, but that's not happening, right? And the organization, the GM, probably Doug, both think this roster isn't it, but we got to give him that opportunity. And we're clamoring for Doug's job because he's not playing Keon, because we need the veterans need to fail essentially for us to go through with it. And I just think that creates a lot of pressure, and probably warrants the response, which I thought Doug gave was pretty tactful, honestly, in how he responded. He just said, hey, keep that same energy when this thing turns around, and kind of reemphasize how much he cares about
No,
this city
but
and this
there's
organization.
there's
So
nobody that's ever going to tell Doug Christie he doesn't care. That's not part of the equation here. Like, everyone knows that Doug Christie loves this franchise and loves this city. That's not up for debate and never will be up for debate. It doesn't even come into the equation.
I didn't even say it
But that
was
doesn't mean
something worth
what does that
debating. I
mean?
just said it was tactful.
Yeah, well, I don't even know I know what the word tactful means. The point I'm trying to make here is I'm not anti Doug Christie, where, like, because of what happened to me when I lost my job, that I have a vendetta against him. I've been on the record that he's not an NBA caliber head coach, and I don't think that he is. And there's nothing that I've seen since he got the job as an interim coach and now that would make me change my mind. I would love to go, and I really mean this. I want the Kings to win. All right. I announced their games for 32 years. My son works for the team. It's not like I want harm to come the Kings' way, but I'm going to call it the way I see it. I'm objective. I'm going to give you my opinion. This is how I feel. I'm not going to just camouflage how I feel. I don't think he's an NBA head coach. And I've been very consistent from day one about that. I was consistent. If you know this, you watched all the shows last year. When he got the job as an interim coach, I said that was a terrible decision. I was on record as saying that's a wrong move by the organization.
I agree. I don't ever think you. Let me say I agree with everything you've said. I don't try to misconstrue what you say in any way. There's plenty of people doing that. I will say I'm not loving the energy in our chat room right now with everybody. Every 10 people are talking about fire Doug, take his head, whatever. It's a sunk roster. It's a sunk season. It's not. We might as well hold on, and if you're really clamoring for Doug to be gone, people in the chat, just wait till you have a roster of young people, like young guys that need to be developed, and then you get your good coach that you're looking for. Otherwise, as long as he's not hindering these guys' development, then
he has been hindering their development, and that's where I disagree with you. I think he has been hindering their development because Keon Ellis's development and confidence has been shot this year, okay, based on what's happened to him as of late. And again, I'm going to go back to another player. Why is Nick Clifford only playing 14 minutes in this game? He's the future, okay? Why is he only playing 14 minutes? So in my opinion, his coaching is hindering the development.
But we're, 11 games into the season.
Yes.
I've seen Maxime Reynolds demonstrate that he is becoming competent before my eyes. When he was lost, he actually gave us some productive minutes, especially like at a rookie level. I was very impressed with him a few games back. And Nick's still showing signs. This is a tough situation to be, working for an incompetent owner.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe
with
it's
you.
the only job he could get. He's just got to do what the GM, what he wants to do. It's a bunch of challenging things coming together.
And so, Dirk, you hit it right on the head. And I hate to step on you there because I should have let you finish, and I apologize.
No, you're good, Grant.
No, Dirk, what you just said is the whole ball of wax. All right. This organization, Dirk, doesn't do anything right. Okay. The reality is you have a bad owner. Can we agree on that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You hire a general manager and you don't let him hire his own coach. Disaster waiting to happen. So you give Doug Christie the job. You tell him he's going to be the head coach before you bring in Scott Perry. And you tell Scott Perry, if you want the job, you have to have Doug as the head coach. That's no way to run your franchise. And it creates problems. And here's the other deal, Dirk. And perception is often reality. And I think it is here. It just, again, in the national media's eyes that cover the NBA, it's such a dysfunctional, poorly run franchise. And then you have the Zach Lowe's of the world, right? And the Rob Perez going on NBA radio and so many others ripping the franchise to shreds. And how could they not? I mean, how could they not? This is what's going on. And you know it. I know it. And the national media knows it. It's a bad situation, Dirk.
Yep. And I mean, I don't know what would ever change someone like Vivek's mind except embarrass him to a point where he can't hide from the public. And everyone acknowledges that it's his issue. But like I said, we're sunk for a couple of years. If like it might not be as bad as we think, Grant, because ultimately Scott Perry will be able to pick his coach when it matters, in my mind.
I hope so. Hey, I appreciate it. You're always a pleasure to talk to. Thank you very much.
Later, Grant.
All right, take care. Let's get to Jake. Jake, you're next here on the Postgame Show. Go ahead, Jake.
Hey, Grant, Jake here. You know, I disagree on your take about Doug Christie. I think he's done a really great job as coach. This roster is just so bad. And I think he was such a good player. And I really think that really
What does
qualifies
that
him to
have to
be a
do with
really good head
anything?
coach.
What does that have to do with anything? The fact that he was a really good player 25 years ago. What does that have to do with today?
Well, he really knows the game, and
Okay.
he's really confident in being able to coach defense. And I just think he's going to make an amazing coach. We just have to
Can I
give him
ask you a
time and a better
question?
roster.
And I accept I'm not trying to change your mind. The coach that was coaching the Denver Nuggets tonight, David Adelman, he never played the game. Does he look like a good coach to you?
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I just think Doug is going to make a fantastic coach. And
Okay, that's great.
give him
And I
time.
hope Jake, for your sake, being a loyal King supporter, I hope you're right. But I think the chances of that are slim and none. But I hope you're right. And if you are right, I'll go on Fox Sports Sacramento and tell everyone I was wrong about Doug, and I'll have no problem stating that. No problem at all.
All right, well, I'll look forward to that.
Thank you, Jake. You have a good night. And I'll come on here and say it. I have no problem saying I'm wrong. But when you say he's doing a great job, I'm sorry, you're not seeing what everyone else is seeing. I don't think he's doing a great job. You can't talk about defense after every game and give up 37 points again in the fourth quarter tonight. I'm sorry. Now, Jake is not a moron. Don't call him a moron. That's his opinion. Just because you disagree with his take that's thought out doesn't mean he's a moron. That's not fair. Don't call him a moron. I call people morons, but I'm not calling Jake a moron because I have a difference of opinion of him. All right? Strange calls tonight. Listen, the Kings they have a if the Kings lose tomorrow night, and I think they probably will, they're going to come back from the next road trip, and let's hope that Keegan is back at some point during the next road trip. They really need a boost. I think this team, and even though the West looks very weak from 9 down, very weak, or at least from 10 down, Memphis is 4-8. That looks very weak. So I know a lot of people don't agree with Jake, but that doesn't mean he's a moron. All right. He gave a thought out take. He did it in a very nice way. All right. He didn't make it personal. He didn't call me out. I didn't call him out. He has a different opinion. That doesn't mean he's a moron. Let him speak. He's entitled to come on and make those comments. I don't have any problem with it. All right. I have no problem with it. Literally no other team would hire Doug. I know. I've said that time and time again. I'm too funny. Why am I too funny? I'm too funny. I'm glad you think I'm funny. Hey, DAS Mechanical. All right. Let me get that off the screen. I'm sorry, that chat. DAS Mechanical, HVAC and retrofit specialist. Great service. And whether it's the Placer or Sacramento counties, family owned and operated. And right now, through the month of September, a $69 special on your winter maintenance checkup. That's right. That's a great deal. Only $69 through the end of this month. Go to dasmechanical.org. And folks, we always talk about credibility, right? We always talk about okay, whether you're going to coach or whether you're going to play or be a broadcaster, we always talk about credibility. Go to DAS's website, dasmechanical.org. Look at all of their 5-star reviews and their numerous best of the best awards. That's credibility. That means they do their business the right way. Heating and air? Yes. dasmechanical.org. Tell them you are a fan of the show. I would greatly appreciate that. Again, dasmechanical.org, and take advantage of that $69 special. And again, tell them we said hi here on If You Don't Like That. Man, what a tough stretch right now for the Sacramento Kings. What a tough stretch. All right, Baki is with us. Hello, Baki. Welcome.
Hello.
Hey, Baki, you're a Serbian player by the name of, let's see what his name is, Nikola Jokic. He's pretty good, Baki.
Yeah, he is trying to prove to everybody to pronounce his name Nikola, not Nicola. So he's really serious about it, but we are laughing all over it. So, Napes, I am 120% with you about everything you said about the coach. I mean, We are the same. I really like Doug Christie. I liked him before as a player, and I like the guy from the out of basketball. But being a great player doesn't mean at all that you're gonna be a great coach with the NBA. I mean, he's NBA coaching rookie, and everybody knows it. And so it's I mean, I'm reading a lot of comments right here, and a lot of people are mad how we are playing this game. I mean, uh, playing against Denver like this, playing with against the team who has a quarterback in the basketball is very difficult. I mean, it's the only win you can win with the player like that. I mean, I'm not speaking, and you know that I'm not speaking because Jokic is from Serbia, not at all. Because I'm objective about it. The guy is literally reading everything you do and doing by 5 times. I mean, he's not looking at the players. He know where they are positioning, and the only way you can win against Denver like this and team like this, it doesn't matter it's Jokic or Oklahoma, is if you take all the players missing all the shots and you can pray for all the others not to do a thing because he's gonna do everything for them and he's doing it from the beginning of the season. So this game is not something we should talk about. What's the Kings' plan? What's the coach plan? But we can talk about coaching and we can talk about Doug Christie because uh, here in Serbia we had the best player in football ever to play football in this country and maybe back in 90s in Europe and he was a national team coach until 2 months ago and he was one of the best player ever to play in Europe but as a coach he sucks definitely and he was fired from the national squad.
Yeah, being a
So it
player
does,
and being a coach,
yeah,
one
it
has
doesn't.
nothing to do with the other. Doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I'm sharing that because being a coach is nothing about knowing the game. The previous caller said he knows the game. Of course, he was great, and he was one of the best
Yeah.
defensive player, maybe one of the top 10 ever, maybe. When we're
Yeah.
speaking about defense, because Sacramento
Yeah.
Kings back then, we make our plans with playing with that team is like being Doug Christie doing all the defense with in front of that team. So so being a coach doesn't matter because this is psychologic. This is doing with the group, doing with the people, knowing with the people. So
Yeah.
I don't know if he's that much. Uh, I should say precise what to do in what matter because there is a lot of and especially with those Kings roster because I think those players individually are very talented. You
Yeah,
can
they are.
separate.
Buck,
I mean, if you take every team will take Sabonis, every team will take
yeah,
Lavine,
of
but
course.
separate.
Listen, there's no disagreement. Hey, I'm going to let you go because I got to get to Ryno. He just came up from the press conference, and I got to hear from him. Okay. Hello to your sweet daughter. Hi, sweetie. Have a great
I
day.
couldn't talk. I'm doing my English homework. I
I
forgot
love it.
about it.
Do your homework. Thank you, Baki. Ryno, Jerry and I had pretty much the same thought. I didn't have any problem with the way the Kings competed tonight. I liked the way they played. They lost to a much better team that has maybe the best player on the planet. They had a rough fourth quarter with Denver scoring 37 points, but the improvement that I saw from the other night in terms of competing and on defense was night and day.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They came out, they looked way more structured. Sabonis had 5 shots within the first, I want to say 4 or 5 minutes. The offense was getting different looks. It was not just around the perimeter. And really, what this game came down to, Grant, was they won the minutes when Jokic was on the bench
That's
in
right.
the first quarter, second quarter, and they lost him in the second half.
That's
That's the
right.
key
The
to
fourth
beating
quarter,
Denver.
they had a chance with him on the bench for an extended period, and they actually got a double-digit lead with him on the bench.
Yep. And that was the difference in the game. But if you look at the things that the Kings are looking to clean up, and I asked Coach Christie about it, and He gave a pretty long response, but he was happy with the improvement with the communication. Still room for improvement, but transition in the fast break was much better tonight. The Kings only gave up 12 points
Yeah.
off of their turnovers, and they had 18 points in the fast break category.
All right. So while you were downstairs at the press conference, I talked about Doug's pregame comments that, based on social media, a lot of people thought was directed at me and our show from yesterday. You were at the game tonight. You talked with a lot of members of the media. Was that the talk before the game amongst the media, that he thought that they thought the comments were towards me and the show on Fox Sports Sacramento?
Well, it was so out of left field for Doug to come up and just give that response, especially on a nationally televised game. It's on NBC, etc. But as I kind of made the rounds, that was what we were hearing mostly. I talked to a national reporter who joked with me and said, "Oh, you guys are stirring the pot a little bit." But Doug was asked about it. It was the first question actually in the press conference after the game, and he said it wasn't directed at one individual
How was
or
the
two.
question? How was the question paraphrased?
Can you just follow up on who your comments were directed at in the pregame press conference?
And he said
Or
what?
give us some more clarity. Just that it was not one person in particular. Summarizing here, it's anybody that is going to be against the Kings and what they believe in and what they're doing. This is a process. And then he muttered something kind of under his breath at the end of his statement, which I've asked a couple of our colleagues, and they couldn't quite make out what it was either.
Interesting. Well, Doug's got to, first of all, not be so sensitive because his team just suffered back-to-back blowouts on their home floor. And he has to understand that comes with the territory, and that, at least from a media perspective, me, and I'll speak for me, I'm not going to speak for anybody else. I'm not making it personal. I'm observing, I'm watching, I'm observing, and I'm making opinions based on my decades of covering NBA basketball. It doesn't mean I'm right all the time. And I'm also relaying what Jerry Reynolds said on our post-game show after the game on Sunday, as it relates to Keon Ellis and some of the other things. I thought it was interesting that after the comments that I made on the radio yesterday, that Dennis Schroeder, who I criticized greatly on my show, only played 21 minutes tonight, and Keon got into the game in the first quarter. So, like, maybe Doug, and it's not just me, there's others like you and others in the media that are asking the same question.
I mean, I guess the things that we were talking about and being hard on, they were the adjustments that were actually made tonight to a degree. Dennis Schroeder's minutes were down. He only shot 3 shots. In fact, Doug was asked about whether or not they're going to look at changing the starting lineup. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I do remember that it sounds like it's something they are evaluating, moving Russell into that starting job. But Grant, yeah, Malik Monk, he played 28 minutes tonight, almost 30 minutes. Russell still got his 31. Keon played mostly the fourth
Russell
quarter.
had a terrible game
And
tonight.
he did. And here's the other thing. Nick Clifford still got 13 minutes. I mean, Doug had gone 10 deep before we were even out of the first quarter.
Yeah, why is Nick Clifford not playing more? Like, I don't understand that at all. I really don't. I mean, if you really want to talk about a guy playing less than 14 minutes of time, it doesn't make sense to me right now. And I know it's early, but I don't get it.
You know what? I am not going to, with the stretch of basketball this team's facing, with who they are facing it without, I'm not going to complain about less minutes for Neek when you have more minutes for Keon. I would be talking out of both ends of my mouth. I mean, that's why you have 82 games to develop him, get through this phase where you can get back to Keegan Murray. You can get a little more balance to each group because, again, tonight the energy came mostly from the second unit, and then get a full deck of playing cards and go from there.
All right. So now with the loss, the Sacramento Kings are dropping a game. Okay. And Utah with the win, they are now in 10th. And again, maybe it's silly to talk about who's in 10th right now with only 10, 11 games played, but I'm just doing this for the sake of conversation. The only teams that are worse than Sacramento right now, there's only one team with a worse record than the Kings in the Western Conference. Only one, and that team's the New Orleans Pelicans.
Grant, I'm not going to look at the record right now. I'm going
Okay.
to look at what's on the court. I'm
Okay.
going to look and see if they are improving in the areas, number one, that Doug's talking about, and number two, that are standing out, not just to me, but many people that cover this team. And I thought tonight they did better. I thought the
I agree.
defense, the communication was better.
I agree.
Now, it wasn't for 48 minutes. I thought the offense looked more efficient. I thought you were getting a lot more spring and effort, guys on the same page, attacking the rim. So if I'm seeing advancement there, I'm going to go with something that Doug Christie says. He said it last season. There's a formula. We don't worry about wins and losses. If we do this formula, most times the result's going to be a win. So if they're getting closer to that, then that's what I'm going to judge.
All right. Don't forget about Bennett's Prime Seafood and Steaks at Bennett's, Sacramento, Roseville, the West Side Grill in Rockland. Go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com to make a reservation. That's Bennett'sRestaurants.com to make a reservation. Again, Prime Seafood and Steaks at Bennett's. And say hello to Brian and the staff, regardless of whether you're in Sacramento, Roseville, or out in Rockland at the West Side Grill. That's Bennett's Prime Seafood and Steaks, Bennett'sRestaurants.com. Here's the problem with what you just said is, and we talked about this on Sunday night with Jerry, Ryan. I don't disagree totally with what you just said, but I disagree with the notion of it's not about wins and losses when you're playing all of your veterans so many minutes. Okay, like if you can't win with your veterans, as Jerry said, you're an old team, which is fine to have an old team, Ryan, if you're winning. But if you're not winning, then an old team is no good, and that's when you have to change course. Now, do I change course after 5 games? No. Do I change course after 10 games? No. But at some point, there's a reason why they have the standings, and the standings to me would be irrelevant if you are going to go with the youth movement, but they're not irrelevant when you're playing Zach LaVine 30-plus minutes every night, DeMar DeRozan, Sabonis, and company. Then they become more relevant to me because you're playing your best players most of the game.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. I'm not looking at that or taking that approach for 82 games. I'm saying this team has looked so poor at times that you need to break it down a little more fundamentally until you can get to that point where you have Keegan Murray. Can you find something that this team can hang their hats on? And right now, there is not one specific thing, Grant, that this team really can hang its hat on.
I thought Russell Westbrook was terrible tonight. I thought Schroeder was terrible tonight. I'm glad that Doug gave a hook to Schroeder, who played only 21. I like what the bench did tonight. The question now, with a really quick turnaround, this is almost like a road game tonight. By the time the game's over and you get in your car and you get home, it's almost the equivalent of coming in from Golden State. You now have to play your third game in 4 nights. An older team. We see a Sabonis who was just, trying. I mean, Sabonis is just a tough rock. He's not right. You've got older team, an Atlanta team that's playing really well, that's got a night off. This is not going to be easy tomorrow for the Sacramento Kings.
No, and you've got an Atlanta team. I sat next to their sideline reporter tonight. He was kind of scouting the Kings out, and they're having fun right now. Playing without Trae Young. Some of the things that you said, Grant, other guys are getting featured. They like to play a little bit fast. They like to move the balls, can stick sometimes. So expect an up-tempo game tomorrow from this Atlanta team that's coming off a win against the Clippers. And the Kings are going to have to, and if this might be one of those games, Grant, where I know Doug only wants to play 10, but when you're in a situation like this, where it's an 8 o'clock start, you might be going deeper than 10 tomorrow. You might be giving Devin Carter some minutes just to keep fresh legs on the court.
Somebody said, I just listened to the presser. His final comment on that first question was, quote, but everything that's coming in ain't specific either. I don't understand what that means. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. We talk about what we see. We make our opinions, and if you disagree, like with Jake disagreeing with me, that's fine. I don't have any problem if you disagree with us. I don't have any problem.
And we don't know that it was directed towards the radio show or this YouTube channel, but what I do know is the things we were looking for, the changes, Grant, that we saw that were hurting this team, They were made tonight, at least for one night. And so that's why it's ironic that that's why maybe I take issue with it was targeted towards us, because you're validating what we're saying at that point if you are making those changes. Because
Yeah.
last time I checked, I'm not an NBA coach. Are you?
Nope.
Yeah.
And I don't claim to
So
be an NBA coach. I would like to be because I would love the money, and that would be nice. But no, I'm not an NBA coach. No,
yeah.
no. But I would tell you that this team now, and I think Keegan Murray, I'm looking at the math. I think he's probably going to be back on this upcoming road trip at some point. I just believe he will. And they really need him, but it's not going to just all of a sudden turn this team into a winning team. It's not.
No, but it's going to help on the defensive end, and it's going to help this team probably get into transition a lot
Yep.
better,
Yep.
because Keegan allows you some of these gambles, Grant, that we've seen from the guards that aren't working out. When you have Keegan Murray on the court, those gambles have a better chance of working out, and then you take them a little more calculated. And again, the Kings were really good tonight in transition. They had 18 fast break points to Denver's 11.
Boy, what a asset to have Valanciunas come in off the bench, huh? Wow.
Just a head shaker.
Yep, I know.
Shaker.
I know.
And he plays with a level of physicality that is similar to Jokic, and his skill set
Yeah.
is not Jokic, but he can pass the ball. He has good court vision. He can bang. So it makes that transition for Denver, I would say, easier than it's been since they had a championship.
He was on Sacramento last year, was he not, Valanciunas?
Yeah, we kind of swapped him out for Dario Saric. And about $2 million.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. But hey, I do have to say, Precious Achua, minus running the fast break, which hopefully we don't see the rest of the season. It worked out tonight.
Yeah, it took a couple bad shots, in my opinion, but other than that, I thought he played well.
I thought he brought some good physicality in the first half. Doug was switching Sabonis and Precious back and forth on Aaron Gordon and also Jokic. So gives them a little bit more flexibility.
All right. The Kings give up 122 tonight. They give up 37 in the fourth quarter. Hey, Sunrise Landing in Calusa. You can check out everything by going to CalusaSunrise.com. We appreciate their support right here on the channel, and all of their beautiful models with no Mellorews, no homeowners. And folks, guess what? Adjacent to the Calusa Golf and Country Club, I-5, Highway 45, Highway 20 will get you there. This Blazona Development Project. Just go to CalusaSunrise.com and check out Sunrise Landing. You getting kicked out?
I'm thinking about just sleeping here tonight.
Oh, you know what? You
honestly
should. Yeah. You were next to next to Matt Weiner, right? Of the Hawks, the TV crew, Matt Weiner.
Yep. We were having a really good discussion back and forth most of the game.
That's good. Bob Rathman is their TV announcer with Dominique Wilkins as his analyst. They do a great job in Atlanta. Steve Holman is the radio announcer. He does a great job. So, yeah, good to have them in town.
Yeah, Matt said it's his first year with the Hawks, and he's really enjoying it.
That's good. And they're off to a really good start. So that will be the topic tomorrow. We will be on Fox Sports Sacramento at 3 o'clock tomorrow. And then we'll be right back here on the postgame show. And this homestand, I thought if they could go 2-3, I would take it. They still have a chance to go 2-3, but they're going to have to win tomorrow night.
Yep, absolutely. We will know sooner rather than later as we're getting ready to cross over into game day again in about 30 minutes.
Boy, unbelievable. All right, buddy. Safe drive home. Thank you very much for your work.
Yes, thank you. And thank you to everybody who stayed up tonight to watch this live, both on YouTube and X. And Mr. Reynolds, huge thanks if you see this on the replay. Love you, Jared.
Great. Good night, buddy.
Good night, bud.
All right. I'll be talking again with Ryno tomorrow at 3 o'clock on Fox Sports Sacramento. So be sure and join us tomorrow at 3 o'clock, 104.7 FM, 890 AM, or you can download the Fox Sports KSAC app. Kings lose. They now are 3-8 with the Atlanta Hawks coming up tomorrow. Until tomorrow, thank you very much. Appreciate your support. Thanks for joining us right here on If You Don't Like That. Be sure and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And please give us a thumbs up, a like. We would greatly appreciate it. All right? Thank you. Talk to you tomorrow, 3 o'clock, and then right back here after the Kings and the Hawks. Bye-bye now.